Yeah. Now, can you see?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Non-charitable purpose trust. So, before we talk about non-charitable purpose trust, okay, we need to know the charitable purpose trust. A trust for purpose which are treated in as charitable. Okay, non-charitable purpose trust where no individual directly benefited. Charitable purpose, charitable trust. Okay, I'm creating a trust for the student, poor student of IIM. I have created a trust, and you are the trustee. I gave you 10 million Malaysian ringgit. Okay, and I told you, okay, you will expend this 10 million Malaysian ringgit for the poor student who is failed to give their tuition fee in IIM. So charitable trust. Okay, the human being include here. Human being, they are involved. They are the beneficiary. So non-charitable purpose trust, individual directly, where no individual directly benefits. There is no individual directly, maybe indirectly there benefits, but directly there is no individual. Usually it is struck down and it is not enforceable by anyone. Question. Now the question is non-charitable purpose trust. If it is no human being here, so the question is: it is possible to establish a trust for non-charitable purpose because no human being. So how the trustee will execute? How the trustee will enforce the trust, execute the trust, perform the trust? Okay, there is some question. The question is whether this type of trust can be considered as valid or not. There is few question. Okay, objection to non-charitable purpose trust. There is few objection about the non-charitable purpose trust. Is it valid trust? Is it invalid trust? There is few issue. For example, enforceability. If no human being as object, so trustee, how, to whom the trustee will execute the trust, enforce the trust? Okay, this type of question arises. Uncertainty, then excessive delegation of testamentary power, perpetuity. Okay, this objection arise to the non-charitable purpose trust. Enforceability, a trust is an obligation. The object is that there cannot be an obligation. There cannot be an obligation upon the trustee unless there is a correlative right in someone else to enforce it. If no someone is there, if there is no human being, if nobody there, how the trustee will enforce it? There is a question. The private trust will be void if there is no beneficiary. If there is no beneficiary, so private trust will void, because how the trustee will execute it? To whom the trustee will transfer the benefit of the trust? Due to its principle of non-charitable purpose trust is rendered totally void. Morris versus Bishop of the Ham. In this case, Sir William Grant mentioned every trust must have a definite object. There must be somebody in whose favor the court can degree perform. In this case, Sir William, he mentioned, okay, for the object, for the beneficiary, we need some human body, we need someone. So otherwise, how we will give any degree to perform? To whom? Who will perform it? So need some human body. The trust is void unless there is human beneficiaries capable to enforce the trust. Hamgan.
Paham, sir, doctor.
Okay. Okay. Uncertainty. Yeah.
So is that what the enforceability, the principle of enforceability here is trying to say, that because there's no human as an agent for the trust to be enforced, therefore it should be void?
Yeah. It's an objection. People say, okay, now we are coming later. Yeah, non-charitable purpose trust also it can valid. When? Okay, what type of situation? Then we will discuss it later. Okay.
Okay.
Normally, for example, I am a trustee. I am a testator. I appoint you as a trustee. Okay. and I told you to give this benefit from this trust to a building or a tree. So how you will give? How you will execute? If you fail to execute, it's not valid. Nobody to take the money from you.
Faham. Faham, sir.
Okay. So uncertainty. Non-suitable purpose trust will be invalid if purpose are very wide. Yeah, if the purpose is very wide, we discussed earlier, Dr. Mohsin discussed earlier, the purpose is very wide. For example, I have created a trust and you are the trustee. I have mentioned that, okay, you will expend this money to all the people in Kuala Lumpur, all the who is using black shirt every day, then give money from this. So purpose is very wide. It's difficult to identify. It is difficult to identify, difficult to enforce, administratively unworkable. So here the non-charitable purpose is invalid if purpose is very wide. So if you want to make it valid, non-charitable purpose trust, if you want to make it valid, then you have to make the purpose is very narrow, very specific. Okay, here mentioned non-charitable purpose trust will be invalid if purpose are very wide. Morris versus Bishop, in this case, benevolent and liberality are wider concept than charity. Purpose was uncertain and hence the trust was void. In this case, the court said, okay, it was very wide, the concept is very wide, it's more than charity, so it is void. Restores settlement trust. In this case, an inter vivo settlement was made in 1945. All shares in the Observers Limited were held for various non-charitable purposes. They created a trust, and the purpose was mainly purpose. The number one purpose: good maintenance of good understanding, sympathy, and cooperation between nations. Okay, they created trust, and they mention, okay, benefit from this trust. You will, the trustee, the direction to the trustee was, you will use the benefit from this trust to maintain and of good understanding, sympathy, and cooperation between nations. The preservation of the independence and integrity of newspaper. Here, then the control, publication, financing, and management of any newspaper, periodical, books. Okay. So in this case, court found that the purpose was very wide, very huge. It was not certain, very difficult to identify. Then court found that, court declared that it was invalid trust because of uncertainty. Excessive delegation of testamentary power. In order to the effect of non-charitable purpose trust, power might be given to willing trustee to perform. Judicial statement in some cases have led to the effect that purpose trust created by will are void because trustees are left to determine the application of the property in a will. Reason: there is nobody to enforce the trust. Perpetuity: charitable trust may last forever. So when we will create trust, it is last forever. Non-charitable purpose trust is void if it is to continue beyond the perpetuity period. How long perpetuity period? We will discuss it later. Now, earlier discussion, many objections about non-charitable purpose trust. They mentioned that, okay, there is no certainty, there is no enforceability, it is very difficult to enforce, so it is not valid. Non-charitable purpose trust is void. It is difficult to enforce, it is not certain, etc., etc. But here some exceptional case uphold a valid non-charitable purpose trust when the non-charitable purpose trust is void, although there is no human being as the beneficiary. So how, if there is no human being as the beneficiary, when it is the valid non-charitable purpose trust. Now we will discuss about it. For a non-charitable purpose trust to be valid, it needs to cover a narrow field. That means I told you earlier, so if you want to make a valid non-charitable purpose trust, you have to identify very specific narrow field for the object. The purpose will need to be kept strictly within narrow confines of limit and exceptional case. Gift must be limited to particular purpose. You have to specify, and the object must be specified, limited, okay, clear. For example, a specific animal. You can create a trust, non-charitable purpose trust for a specific animal. If you, for the maintenance of the specific animal, for example, you have a cat. I have a cat, so I create a trust, okay? I gave you 100 ringgit every month, you will take care of my cat. So it is very specific. Or if I mention like that, okay, I am giving 100 ringgit, okay, you will take care of cat of Kuala Lumpur or IA or Malaysia. So it is not a specific, it's very wide. Okay, the gift for the care of a specific animal through not charitable have been upheld as a valid trust. The animal are specified and not general for maintenance of animal. So you have to, if you want to create a trust for your animal, for your cat, it will be a valid trust, valid non-charitable purpose trust. Pettingal versus Pettingal. In this case, someone created trust, a fixed sum of money paid to someone every year, practically for the rest of their life. He gave £50 to someone to be applied in maintaining the testator's favorite black mare. He had a favorite horse and he gave every year £50 to maintain. In this case, the court said it is a non-charitable purpose trust. It is a valid non-charitable purpose trust because the object is very specific, though the beneficiary is not human being. Braden, the testator charged his freehold estate in payment of £750 per year to his trustee for the period of 50 years. If any of his horse and horns should so long life and declare that the trustee should apply the money in the maintenance of his house and horns. The court said it is a valid non-charitable purpose trust, although there was no one who could enforce it. So in this case, if someone, when you will be a lawyer, if someone come to you and express that I want to create a trust for my horse or for my cat, then if it's very specific, if you read all these cases, if you see these cases as a precedent, then you can advise accordingly. Tombs and monuments. A trust for building and the maintaining a particular grave or monument has been held as valid non-charitable purpose trust. Yeah. So a trust for building or the maintaining of a particular grave or monument has been held as valid non-charitable purpose trust. So you have to remember this. Now the case. Ray Hopper, in this case, testator gave some money, gave a sum of money for the case and upkeep a certain family grave and a table and window of church for so long as the trustee legally can do. In this case, the court said that the trust not being charitable was valid for 21 years. Yeah, it is valid until 21 years. So after 21 years, it will not valid. Muset versus Bengal. In this case, a gift for the creation of a moment of the testator's widow's first husband. Here the court said that it is a valid non-charitable purpose trust. So in this case, in this scenario, if someone come to you, you can suggest for a non-charitable purpose trust. Recover a gift to trustee for the maintenance of the grave and monuments for the period of 21 years. Okay, so here if you create a gift, create a trust for the maintenance of the grave and monument for 21 years, then it is valid. If more than 21 years, not valid. Another case, Trimar versus Danby. In this case, the testator gave £1,000 to his executor, and I do direct them to lay out and expand the same to create a monument to my memory in St. Paul Church. Okay, the bequest was after. Messages for private individual. A trust for messages in England and Wales is valid, but not in Malaysia. As you remember, if you create a trust for private individual, trust for messages in private individual, it is not valid in Malaysia. Bone versus Kane, in this case, trust created for the salvation of a Christian, then the court said it was valid. In Malaysian position, you see Cheo Chong, and he created trust for ceremony called Siu Xiao. In this case, the court said that okay, it was void. Last I mentioned you earlier slide, the messages for individual, private individual in Malaysia is void trust. So another case, Reiko, in this case, a advice of property maintaining Siu Xiao ceremony was held as void. So in this case, in Malaysia, you are not allowed to create a trust. If you create, it will be void. Another case, Ray, in this case, the testator gave land and house to be held in trust forever for the family house, for ancestral worship and family burial ground. Then court said that the Malaysian case, court says that it is void. Fox hunting. In this case, the Ray Thompson, in this case, the testator gave a legacy of £1,000 to a friend to be applied by him towards the promotion and furthering of fox hunting. Okay, so in this case, the court said that is a valid trust. Unincorporated association. Okay, unincorporated is important. Listen carefully. Unincorporated association. An unincorporated association exists where two or more persons are bound together for one or more common purpose by mutual understanding, each having mutual duties and obligations. The unincorporated association is not a legal person, and it cannot be owned of property or subject to legal rights and duties. Unincorporated association, they don't have legal identity. They are not legal person. Okay. So question, now the question, what is the effect of gift to such association? If you want to make any gift to the unincorporated association, what will be the status of that gift? If it is for charitable, then asset will be held by officer or group of the trustee. Non-charitable purpose, gift need to be made in favor of the member. If you want to give your property, by a trust to a unincorporated association, then you have to give, the gift need to be made in favor of the members. So you can give them But you can mention, I am giving this property to this in unincorporated association for the benefit of the member of this association. In this case, Levy versus ASG for New South Wales. In this case, the testator provides that in Meslab a sheep station of some 730 acres to be held upon trust for nuns of Catholic Church, the Christian brother as executors and trustee shall select. Then it was held that not valid as neither a charitable trust or private non-charitable purpose trust. Another case, in this case, testator in 1967 gave his residuary estate to the trustee on trust as on behalf, one half to the Hal Jordan Association in memory of my late wife to be used solely in work constructing the new building for the association. In this case, the court said that it was a valid trust because a trust for the member of the association, because he give money to build a building and this building will be used by the member of this association. So the member of the association getting benefit from this trust. So court said that it is a valid trust. So outside Commonwealth jurisdiction, nowadays many states of United States, they are allowing, they are approving they are adopting in their legislation the public benefit trust. They are adopting legislation regarding public benefit trust. Okay, any question about non-charitable